Okay, there. Now the mic's
You would know better than me. But we made it. Finally.
YouTube's whole setup to live streams is absolutely awful. Every time I need to restart the stream, I need to make a whole new shell for it. It's so annoying.
Can you scoot a
Sorry to
little bit?
everyone who's bouncing back and forth here.
Yeah, sorry you all had to sit and wait for another stream and another stream and another stream. We apologize. Lord. But we here now. We made it. Something is wrong. I can't get it.
Oh, no more error messages.
The audio streams the stream's bit rate. Oh, are we muted? Are we muted?
No.
Oh, okay. Woo! Tonight's for Tony is here. Yay.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Whew.
Finally.
Yes, finally.
We almost gave up, but we never give up. Never surrender.
No, never.
By Grapthar's hammer, we shall be avenged.
This is just going out to YouTube. If you want us to keep live streaming on here, fix your stuff, because it worked on Twitch the whole time.
Because it worked on Twitch, though. All of you subscribers, do you want to navigate over to Twitch?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're all right. It's okay.
No worries. We just had like 3 in the past 10 minutes.
Apparently, yeah. Nothing happened for the last 10 minutes. Holy moly. And now that light is starting to strobe. That's... Oh, oh goodness.
Everything at once.
All the things at the same time. Okay. Positives. I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
That's true.
That's a positive. That's good. We're happy about that. Lola didn't throw up today. We are happy about that. Lola is not going to spill my drinks. We're happy about that. Oof. Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm just gonna, so they aren't popping up, I'm just gonna
get rid of the...
Get rid of all these other ones. Oh, we have an upcoming one too. What is going on, YouTube?
Hey, look. Monetization is off on that one.
That's fine.
On the one we're doing.
Can I just delete this one?
Delete forever. Okay.
Our 1 minute and 13-second live stream.
Where everything happened and nothing happened at the same time.
Alright, so last time with all the young dudes.
Hi, Ren.
Everything's good? Awesome. Awesome.
Yay.
It's been storming here, so we're assuming that the storm has been messing with our internet or something. We had like almost no upload at all.
Yes, we finally made it. We figured it out.
2 live streams in a row with internet issues, but...
Should I be on Twitch?
No. Well, you can if you want, but you don't have to. I was just mentioning Twitch because we dual stream on Twitch and YouTube. And
yes.
That whole time we were having issues with the YouTube live stream, Twitch was working just fine. But most of our viewers are on YouTube, so...
I just sat here and waited to see if it was going to work or not. So, yeah.
So it got a little annoying when YouTube's not working, but Twitch was working just fine. But all in all, so all the young dudes, what did happen last time? We only read one chapter last time.
Yeah. It was, yeah, because our stream had issues,
Yeah.
remember? The last time. The lady werewolf. That's what happened.
Was it? I thought we made a chapter after that, but yeah,
Did we?
we
Oh,
we read about.
Dumbledore. The lady werewolf, and then he got rescued by Ferox.
That's right. Ferox rescued him from the lady werewolf. The lady werewolf that you said was going to be an awful subplot, and then you ended up enjoying very much.
Yes.
And you thought she was very good.
Yes. I can eat my words sometimes.
And Chris, we are doing very well. How are you?
I'm trying to get the smudges out of my glasses. I think it was the long night. That was the only chapter we read. I think that was the name.
I did have a week of changing a lot of my usernames because so I'm known as Biggs on the internet. It's been like a screen name I've used since middle school. Because I was such an edgy, awesome young kid, I made it with, two Z's. But last week, I was playing Counter Strike with Fuzz, actually, and someone called me Big Z. It's pronounced Biggs, but they called me Big Z. And with everything happening in the world, I realized, oh my god, everyone's gonna think I'm a Nazi. So for the past week, I've been going through like all my screen names and like changing them. Like, yeah, we'll set this aside.
And what is your screen names now?
I can't remember what I changed them all to.
Oh,
Some are just like placeholders. Others I just changed the Z's to an S.
Big S.
Bigs, bigs.
Big
Yes.
parcel tongue.
But yes. So
I
that's
don't have that problem.
when they ask me how I was doing. That's one of the stressors I had this week, I guess, outside of work. But yeah. So we met the lady werewolf. Works for Greyback.
She calls him dad.
It's just weird.
Father.
Weird. And apparently there's a
Biggs, you're not a Nazi and we all know it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you do. And I know that too, but random people on the internet might not.
And then if they think you're Nazi, they're going to think I'm a Nazi by association.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that song, I Think You're a Nazi. You ever heard that song?
No. Oh yeah, Dan. Where's the shake, rattle, and roll?
Yeah, that's true. Pyro Chameleon. We're reading a Clash of Kings in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, but tonight we will be reading more All the Young Dudes and discussing the 13 and a half lives of Captain Bluebear.
Yes.
Without Noelle. Again.
Unfortunately. And hello, Brianna, and hello, Evan. Another Evan up in here.
Oh, Parajohns. Look at that.
And Patrick, that's awesome. How'd she like the books?
Um,
I've only saw pictures of the Ravenclaws edition, but they are the nicest in my opinion.
oh really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, I saying that over Gryffindor too. I'm not hating on your Slytherins. I just think the Ravenclaws happen to be the nicest versions.
Okay.
It's the same.
Just decided it was too long. It wasn't really playing up to the brand name enough to make it worth it. Yeah, that's not as serious as I don't want people to think I'm a Nazi.
Well, yeah.
I managed to talk to one of my friends who lives in Spain and got a chance to view The Secrets of Dumbledore in London a week and a half ago. Ooh.
And Brianna, thank you so much for the $4.99.
Yes, thank you very much for the super chat. Mike, what did you think of The Secrets of Dumbledore? Lola would love to know. What is All the Young Dudes? Every time I see the title, I think of an Amazon TV show. All the Young Dudes is a fan fiction that tells the story of the Marauders from their first year at Hogwarts all the way up through to the 90s, from the point of view of Remus Lupin. And Remus Lupin happens to be gay and in love with Sirius, and it is about their love blossoming. It is a very, very slow burn, and it is very, very good. It is so well written that you might even think that J.K. Rowling wrote it herself.
It is extremely well written.
It's very well written. Mike says he told me this movie takes place in 32 to 35 and includes Dumbledore dueling Grindelwald, which is against canon, since in the books Dumbledore says he doesn't meet Grindelwald again until 1945. This is true.
Oh no.
Wow, way to just... That is one of those things where I would just be like, I'm sorry, it's 1935. This is 10 years earlier than this is supposed to happen. Thank you very much.
Oh man, you just made it so much harder to convince her to go watch the movies now. Because I'm like, I'm in the Harry Potter world, but I'm not like as strict as you are. So I can go see these, and I don't know enough that I'll still enjoy all of that. But you... I just gotta get her to watch them. After that, I think you're gonna like them. I haven't even watched them, but... You love wizards, you love animals. You're gonna love magic animals.
Yeah, but I don't like no Madge.
That was a little lazy. That's fair enough.
No Madge bothers me on such a level. And it's something so stupid and small, but I hate it so much. And I'm sorry. I know I need to go into it with an open mind. I know I need to just watch them. But the Half-Blood Prince movie traumatized me, okay? And I don't know if I have ever recovered. I would also agree, Brianna. It is pretty awesome. But yes, Tonks. I don't know how they're going to resolve that in the story. I don't know. We're going to have to see.
That's kind of what I'm waiting
Watch
for
with an open mind. I didn't realize that Fantastic Beasts wasn't canon until watching your streams. If you go into it watching it as a fan fiction, you might enjoy it.
That's what I mean. I think Fantastic Beasts, you just have to go into it expecting its own thing. Forget about Harry Potter and just enjoy what's on the screen.
How can I forget about Harry Potter when Dumbledore is in the movies?
Yeah.
Your cringe sounds like Popeye's dad. Mike, okay. They said that it delves into Dumbledore and Grindelwald's love in a wholesome way. I can respect that. And maybe that'll be okay. Plus, I do love Mads Mikkelsen a lot. But I still have to get through the first two movies with Johnny Depp.
Just focus on what... Just focus on the cute little moon calves and their big eyes. And all the cute little beasts they show.
The animals?
Yeah.
Focus on the animals. After listening to you reading the series on the final book now, the movies missed and messed up a lot. Yes, they did. We rant about it a lot here. I do, anyway. Brianna, yes. Mads Mikkelsen. Ever since, I think the first thing I saw him in was Casino Royale. And then I've seen him in other things. Hannibal was a personal favorite of mine. He was great in Hannibal.
For such a good actor, I really don't see him in much. Or maybe he just
He does a lot
stars
of
in more.
European work.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't do a lot. He does a lot of European stuff. Yes, the
Yeah,
Bowtruckles.
or the Bow Truckles. There you go. See?
And I know there's a Niffler. Nifflers are very popular because of the movies.
Do they show the raff horns or those big they're like cat rhino thing? They have the Davy Jones face,
Yeah,
the big tendrils.
I don't know. There's plenty to love in the first movie. You gotta struggle through the second one. But Mads Mikkelsen is great. I think he should have been cast from the beginning. I just scared my dogs about Hannibal. I loved that show. Big refused to watch Hannibal because it's really not his kind of thing. But oh, I
I'm
loved
not
it.
into the whole serial killer thing.
Yeah, it's not your cup of tea, but I really liked it. Johnny Depp was replaced after the second movie, so he's in the first two, and then he's in the third one,
Mm.
or he's not in the third one. I mean,
Yeah, and they replaced him for all the drama that was going on in his personal life with his ex-wife and everything, right?
Fantastic Beasts is Hufflepuff pride. Yeah, that is true, because Newt Scamander is a Hufflepuff,
Okay.
so I get that.
They're giving the Hufflepuffs a lot lately.
I,
Maybe they
I feel
realized how
like
dirty they did them in the books and the
I
movies.
feel like um they're definitely feeling like the Hufflepuffs got done dirty, and um they feel like they owe them. Look, you guys weren't in the books. The one Hufflepuff character that was good got murdered. We'll give you something. The whole thing is so stupid because Amber Heard is still working for Warner Brothers, all her lies, yada yada yada. I really didn't follow it. Mainly because I don't really follow celebrity stuff. And number two, it just seemed very messy. And that it just seemed very messy. Um, the rhino thingy is the crumplehorn snorkack that Zuna, Zuna and Luna and Zeno talk about
Oh no, I'm talking about what we saw in the trailer for
for
Hogwarts
Hogwarts
Legacy.
Legacy. Yeah, I don't know what
You
that
get to
thing is.
pet their belly.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
They
I
look
looked
like
it
big
up.
cat things.
It's a raphorn, RAF or RAPHORN.
A raff horn. I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure a raphcorn maybe,
I don't know what that is.
but I actually looked it up and it's a thing.
Yeah, he was in part one and two. I don't even know what he's doing now, if he's acting or what he's probably just trying to recover from the trauma of all of that publicity and all of that. The Muggle in the movies is also an unofficial Hufflepuff. How can you be a Hufflepuff, even unofficially, if you're a Muggle?
Look, a Hufflepuff is the magic of the spirit. Anyone can be a Hufflepuff.
That sounds like something Twilight Sparkle would say.
Probably because she's a Hufflepuff.
She's not a Hufflepuff. She's a Ravenclaw.
Well,
Twilight Sparkle is
then
a
she knows what
Ravenclaw.
she's talking about.
Applejack is a Gryffindor, though.
Ramona hasn't watched that show in so long, I can't even remember the characters.
My stream is falling behind. Not getting good signal at the beach. Sorry, man.
I'm sorry, but hey, at least you're at the beach.
That's true. You are at the beach, so there's that.
Looney Lovegood after Hog. I would love to see like a Luna story.
The Muggle in the movie also gets a wand and becomes a wizard by the end of the movie. No.
I'm sorry. Change the subject. Yes, Joey, I'm super excited for the game
Mike,
too.
do you want me to actually watch these movies or not?
I mean, I'm sure he's funny. You gotta have something. Muggle's gotta got something, or the No-Maj has to have something.
That's not how it works. Don't think he does. I'm still gonna watch it. You should too. I will watch it. It's just going to hurt.
I mean, I'm gonna watch them.
I will watch them. I'm just saying, it's going to hurt me. Think of it as a parody. No, because the last time I watched a parody, it was a Harry Potter musical, and they respected the rules for the most part.
All right, then it's a very high budget fan fiction. That's all it is.
I liked them, Lex. Try. Will I watch it in a house? Will I watch it with a mouse? Will I watch it here or there? Will I watch it anywhere? Oh no, Voldemort was right. Muggles are stealing the magic. There you go. There it is. Voldemort was right. Proof. Kowalski, right there. Whatever the hell his name is. He's stealing the magic. Voldemort was onto something. I should do a movie reaction to them. Can the internet handle it?
Should.
We should. I'm down to do it. Can y'all handle it?
That's gonna be a great time for me because I don't even have to react to the movie. I'm just gonna be watching you the whole time.
We're gonna do a movie
And just
reaction
laugh.
where I react to the movie and then he just reacts to my reaction. Actually, Rowling gave an interview in 2001. She said she had a character planned who didn't realize his magical powers until he was in his 30s, but I still think she's just making things up at that point. I kind of want to call BS on that too. Kind of like the whole if that's true, then it's kind of like the whole thing where the second movie it came out and Nagini used to be a person. And she was like, yeah, that was totally true the whole time. Like, okay, yeah. Nagini used to be a person. Yeah, sure she did, Rowling. Okay.
Well, it's not like you can refute that.
I will refute it until I die.
It doesn't affect the story in any way.
It does to me. When I read those books now and I have to think that Nagini used to be a person, it ruins it.
Have you watched the trailer for Fantastic Beasts?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay.
I seen it. And I saw Jacob the Muggle, the Nomad, with the wand, sitting in the Great Hall, and I remember thinking, what is this bullshit?
Oh, that's right, I showed you.
And I was like,
Yeah.
what is this bullshit?
I forgot. Because I saw it and I wanted to see your reaction. I was just like, ooh, come look at this real quick.
I still don't buy Nagini. I know that Nagini means snake woman, but still, I think I don't buy it. I don't think the whole, she had a blood disease and she just turned into a snake. Ooh. I think she just kind of pulled that out a little bit.
Is she that white snake from
The Chinese myth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Except that snake goddess was like
She didn't have a blood
nice.
disease.
Yeah.
I did like the first one, the Obscurus, and how it connects to Ariana, because Muggles can't see Hogwarts. That's like the fourth phase of fandom, when they break the rules and upset the fans.
Yeah.
I'm pretty for other things that I enjoy. I'm pretty flexible about like, oh, they took this and they tried something different with it. That's cool. It's not totally my thing, but I can appreciate the different direction or whatever. Godzilla, whatever. We're trying different stuff. Let's do this. Batman, okay, we're gonna try something. Well, okay, maybe not Batman, because at least I give it a chance. What else? I don't know. But the point is, with pretty much everything else, I'm like, I can let it go. I can let it slide. It's fine. It's a different interpretation. I'll go with it.
I'm fine as long as they don't disrupt what is already there. Like the whole Nagini was a person thing. It doesn't throw anything out of whack for the story so far. So I'm like, I'll accept that.
The Nagini thing?
Yeah.
It throws it way out of whack for me, given what happened in the house in book 4.
Yeah, but it doesn't
It just
any paradoxes or anything like that.
No, it doesn't mess with the continuity of the plot or the events that occurred.
I guess something that does mess with that is that what we were talking about before, how Dumbledore and
Grindelwald?
Yes, thank you. Grindelwald have their duel.
10 years before
Yeah.
they said they had their duel. If Jacob can do magic, why didn't Dumbledore be like, yeah, Petunia, of course you can come to Hogwarts because Muggle can do magic now or something?
Because you know how that woman is. You don't want to have to deal with that. Come on.
Non-forcers do not use lightsabers except Han Solo. Apparently he used one time in one of the books. See, Pyrochameleon is... Oh, so you're on that. Oh, man. I feel like I sound like one of those bitter Star Wars fans right now. I hate the new material. It sucks. That's what I sound like.
Maybe Petunia found out that Muggles could do magic, and that's why she hated Harry so much. And the wizards and everything.
But
they lied to me.
They can't do magic. That's the fact that he can do magic undercuts the whole idea that there's a separation in Muggles and wizards and the conflict of it.
Well, you have Squibs and Muggles, and then wizards. I mean, maybe there's like a gray area where you're not quite a squib, but you're not quite a wizard. You can do a little bit of magic, but not quite. Same with Muggles. You're a Muggle, you can do a few things here and there.
Pyrochameleons like feel the hate. Use it. Ben is just like, I'm bitter. Read me a story, please help. Read me a story. Can we stop complaining about Fantastic Beasts? Muggles can do magic. They're called mudbloods. Ooh.
Oh, we got a Slytherin in the chat.
Wow, way to assume all Slytherins are prejudiced. Rude. Okay.
Well, it was only Slytherins who ever called anyone a mudblood in the story.
Mike says Biggs is more open-minded because he's not so entrenched in the lore.
That's what I think, yeah.
It's exactly what it is. I'm like those... I'm a little bit like those Lord of the Rings fans who've read the Silmarillion 20,000 times. Like, I'm just so...
Like Stephen Colbert.
Yes. I love that scene where it's like, do you want the Valar of the water? Do you want the Valar of the wind? I'm learning them, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to quiz you on it next week.
The Valar of the wind is called Manwë.
Oh.
His wife is named Valda, I think. She's the Valar of the stars. And most worshipped by the elves.
Well, let's find out how... I got no transition for this. Let's just read some All the Young Dudes.
Olmo is the Valar of the sea.
Okay.
Maybe American schools just suck at finding wizards. Well, they call Muggles nomads, so... And they don't have a Ministry of Magic. They have the Makuza. Sorry.
Which just sounds like a gang. Yakuza. Makuza.
It's literally called the Magical Congress of the United States of America.
Very diplomatic sounding.
Very dumb and not creative. I don't think they have a Department of Mysteries.
This is a perfect example of how ignorance can be bliss.
But I'm not ignorant. I have all these stupid details.
If you hadn't told me that Dumbledore and Grindelwald's whole battle happened 10 years after it supposedly does in Fantastic Beasts, I would have never known. I can just go in there, sit back, enjoy it. It's great.
I'm going to watch these movies. I'm going to die. It's going to be like watching the Harry Potter movies again with you because I hadn't watched them in so long. They did have a female president, though. Oh, okay. That's cool. All right. I was wondering if squibs can do magic if they really try, because Filch was reading that pamphlet on simple magic in the second book. I think that pamphlet was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
I think he was getting taken in. I forgot what series it was, but they said magicians were humans who steal magic. They were practically treated as dirty because it was not naturally bestowed, and the use of magic was like poisonous to them. They had a magical revaluation succeeding from the ministry. No mage. Stupid. I'm not a no mage, I'm a muggle. Don't call me a no mage. Like, come on. Ew. Get out of here with that. It's like the redneck night bus. It's lumped in the same thing. Remember that conversation about the redneck night bus? The American night bus?
That was fun.
It's in the same category. It all blends. That's all goes in the same place.
Pyrochameleon. There's something along the lines of what you're talking about on
Pottermore.
Pottermore.
It's
they talk about that. I think it's when they talk about the witch trials.
No, like they talk about when oh my god, when Isolde, is that her name? Isolde?
I don't know.
Starts Ilvermorny, the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry in the United States. She starts Ilvermorny, and she has her wand is actually Salazar Slytherin's wand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Salazar Slytherin's wand core is?
It's a basilisk fang.
High five. Nice job.
Really?
Yes.
Haha.
It's a piece of basilisk fang. And some dude steals it from her and tries to do magic, and he almost dies from trying to do magic. It like hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the story. Chris is like, you're from the U.S. You got to be a no-mage. I'm a muggle. Stop it. Stop it. No.
It's true.
I'm not a no-mage. I will not accept that. You call me a mudblood first. I would also say the Spanish guy told me Grindelwald tortures the muggle near the end of the movie because the muggle is using magic. That goes to the point of muggles stealing magic. Now I'm done sharing spoilers and talking about this movie since it's causing such a fight. No magical sounds like a term for muggle, but they don't want to offend anyone.
Causing a fight, yes, but causing me so much enjoyment.
You're just loving this, aren't you? I bet Hagrid was so jealous when Harry got to talk to the basilisk. Oh man,
Harry, was he a nice boy?
Yeah, how did Hagrid
really have to kill him? You think you could let me down there? I want to see if he had any babies.
If there's an egg down there anywhere.
All the young dudes. I will say one more thing though. There is a whole article on
Pyrochameleon says that they like it how in the first Doctor Strange they have artifacts which are magically endowed items. Does Harry Potter have artifacts like that? Like, what do you mean by
the Philosopher's Stone?
Yep, the Philosopher's Stone. I guess you could argue the Sorting Hat.
Yeah. And I mean, technically, the Sword of Gryffindor, even though it absorbs said properties from something else.
But I guess I would call that magically endowed because it imbibes magic. Yeah. A pensieve. The pensieve, I would think, too, is a magically endowed object. The invisibility cloak.
I think I had this question at one point when it came to the brooms. If the brooms were, like, enchanted and the magic was within the brooms, couldn't a muggle fly a broom?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before.
That was, like, way, way back.
Yeah, we did have this conversation before.
I can't remember how you shot me down, but I'm pretty sure you shot me down in my dreams of flying a broom.
Mirror of Erised is another one.
Oh, yep.
The Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
I mean, one is a wand.
Basically any cursed item.
Everything the Weasley twins sell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could even argue that Arthur's car because it's a muggle object with magic put into it.
Yep. Harry's cape.
So I said the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
The invisibility cloak.
Oh. I thought you said Horcrux.
No. I did say the invisibility cloak before. Yeah, the brooms. I am each. All right. So, last time Lupin, oh, the Weasley clock. We could talk about this on and on. There's tons of objects. Anything, any port key,
You could
anything
probably
that's a port key.
classify the objects in different categories too. It's
Yeah.
like there's true magical objects, like say the Philosopher's Stone or the cloak, that never lose their power,
Or the pensieve.
or the pensieve,
But then you have things like a port key
or a broom,
or a
that
broom
slowly have the magic fade from them over time.
or Arthur's car.
Mm-hmm.
Although that seems to really keep on ticking very well.
I really wish that it joined the Battle of Hogwarts.
This is the one regret from book 7. We didn't get to see the car again.
A bunch of spiders are about to kill Harry and Hermione or something, and the car just plows through them.
I wonder what happened. I don't know what happened to the car.
The greatest question of Harry Potter: what happened to the car in the long run?
We will never know. All right, so shall we see what's happening in all the young dudes?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Chapter 107, 6th year. Negotiations.
Or Chameleon with spider, or the car will show up later with spider babies. It's a family car now.
Sunday, 15th of January, 1977. He slept as late as possible the next morning to put off further confrontation. He couldn't talk to them. Not yet. Not until his head was straight. They'd have so many questions, some he couldn't answer, some he didn't want to. He showered for longer than usual. Something of Livia seemed to cling to him, and he turned the tap right up, trying to scald it off. The claw marks she'd left were healing already, but still itched under Remus's scratchy wool jumper. Washed and dressed, Remus went to his trunk and looked for a spare bit of parchment before scrawling on an untidy note. "If you're still in the village, I'd like to talk to you again." He folded it in a hurry, shoved it in his pocket, and headed for the owlery. The marauders were all in the common room, in much the same state as they'd been the night before. Remus looked at them, panicked, then bent his head and kept walking. "Moony, wait!" They followed him, all three, through the portrait hole. No matter, they couldn't discuss it in the open. He knew this, and they knew it. "I'm going to the owlery," he said, marching ahead. "Don't you want breakfast?" Peter asked. "After." "Moony, can we talk about what happened last night?" James asked, sounding very tired still. Remus supposed he'd been bearing the brunt of Sirius's frustration. "Good, let someone else do it for a bit." "Not here." Unfortunately, they all followed him to the owlery, which happened to be completely empty, except for owls, of course, most of which were sleeping. "Who are you writing to?" Sirius asked at once. Remus closed his eyes, sighed, and resumed tying his note to the nearest owl. "Ferox, my old professor." "Why?" Remus dropped the string he was using and tutted as he bended to pick it up. He continued to explain calmly. "He's in Hogsmeade. I saw him last night, but I want to see him again." "What was he doing in—" Remus tutted again, fumbling with his third attempt to tie the note to the agitated owl's leg. Sirius was standing much too close, leaning over him, demanding answers, and Remus could barely concentrate. "He's working with Moody, and he got summoned there to bring me back—" "Summoned by who?" "Fucking hell, give me a minute, will ya?" Remus snapped. Sirius stood back, looking as if he'd very much like to say something else, but was biting his tongue. James touched his shoulder again. Remus ignored them both and tied the letter to the bird, maybe a bit too tight because it pecked him angrily before flying off, down toward the village. He could stay there. He could stay there, maybe. It might not take very long. But his stomach growled. He turned to look at his friends. "Okay. Breakfast? Are you going to tell—" "Yes, Padfoot, fine. Let's go get some toast and go for a walk or something, all right?" So that's what they did. Remus buttered at least 5 slices of toast in the great hall, wrapped them in napkins, and stuffed them into the pockets of his robes. The other 3 marauders followed him, watching cautiously as if they weren't quite sure what to make of him yet. "Right," he said once they were outside. "You all need to shut up and let me tell it to you, okay? No interruptions." They nodded solemnly as they walked. He saw Sirius purse his lips. Tough, Remus thought spitefully. You can listen to me for once. So he talked. He found it much easier than telling Dumbledore. At least he knew for sure the marauders were on his side. He tried to explain everything with as little emotional context as possible. He'd known there was a werewolf nearby. He went to find them. He met Livia. Ferox intervened. "Moody talked to me last summer," he explained finally. "He said something to me and it just made me think about how useful I could be, that's all. I have to stop looking at my furry little problem as a problem. If we're going to war with dark creatures, then as a dark creature I ought to be—" "You're not a dark creature," James said suddenly. "You're our Moony." Remus shrugged. He wouldn't have put money on James being the first to interrupt, but now he was pretty glad he had. He left a pause. There was nothing more to tell. James was still looking at him, with a small crease between his eyebrows. He pushed his glasses up his nose, clearly thinking very deeply. Peter, of course, looked anxious. He was staring at his feet, rubbing his hands together. Remus didn't look at Sirius. He looked for his fags instead. "So," James said after swallowing, "she's gone now, has she? The werewolf?" "Livia," Remus said, cigarette between his teeth. "Yeah, I think Ferox scared her off." "Too bloody right," James nodded, much more comfortable talking action. "And I bet with Moody on the case, she won't be back any time soon, eh? So in a lot of trouble with Dumbledore?" "I don't think so," Remus sighed. He rubbed his sore hip. "I think Dumbledore was more worried about me mucking up my spy ring rather than breaking any rules. Mucking up his spy ring rather than breaking any rules." "He wouldn't want to see you hurt, or any of us," James said sincerely. He eyed Remus's awkward posture. "Come on, there's a bench down here. You can finish your toast." They made slow progress down the edge, down toward the edge of the lake, where there were a few stone benches. It was too cold for anyone else to be out at this time on a Sunday, and Remus watched the late morning mist drift across the dark surface of the water as he chewed on the remains of his crusts. Sirius hadn't spoken yet since the owlry, and Remus was trying not to notice it. Sirius felt betrayed. Remus knew that as sure as he knew his own name. Betrayed, even if he didn't really have a right to feel it. "This isn't about you," Remus wanted to hiss at the doleful, silent Sirius. "Can't believe we all slept through the most exciting night of the year, eh?" James nudged Remus, trying to bring a bit of levity to the otherwise rather sombre atmosphere. "It wasn't that exciting," Remus grinned back, giving him what he wanted. "I was crap. If Ferox hadn't come, I don't know." "Do you think she might have disapparated with you?" Peter asked, still wringing his pudgy little hands. "I don't know," Remus replied. I got the impression, anyway, that she needed me to agree, like it had to be me who made the decision. Otherwise, I suppose they could all just gang up on me and snatch me." "Well then," James said, slapping his thigh triumphantly. "There's no problem there, is there? I mean, there's no question." "No, of course not," Remus said quickly. "I'd never join Greyback." "Well then," James repeated, satisfied. Remus looked at his hands, still greasy from the toast. He wiped them on his trouser legs. Of course not. Of course not. He would never. Except... "Moony?" James asked, sensing the odd quiet. "I'd never join him," Remus said carefully. "And Livia she was awful, but..." He breathed in. Not everything she said was wrong. What's that supposed to mean? Sirius burst out. Remus still didn't look at him, growing hot. Well, wizards treat us unfairly and... You lot wouldn't understand. Sirius sprang up as if he'd been wound up to breaking point. He glared at Remus as if he was about to start screaming at him. Then he walked away at an impossible pace. Black! James stood up. Oi! It's fine. Remus waved a hand. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. I can't explain it properly. He's been such a moody git lately, James huffed, still watching the other boy storm away. Go after him if you want, Remus said. Honestly, you're the best at sorting him out when he's like that. Me and Wormy'll find you later, eh? Okay, James said, already moving. Thanks, Mooney. Those two are so weird sometimes, Peter said, watching James catch up. I swear I never know what anyone's on about anymore. It's all war this and war that. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain, innit? Remus replied. He'd meant it sarcastically, but poor Peter had never been very quick on the uptake. Yeah, you know what I mean, don't you, Mooney? I just think, we're only 16. Can't we think about something other than doing the right thing all the time? We used to have fun. Remus was only half listening. He stretched, rubbing his hip again to see if it would move for him. I think I might go back to bed, Pete, or the library. Why don't you go and see Desi? What? You didn't know? Pete stared at him incredulously as he helped Remus to his feet. No, what? Remus asked, arching his back again for good measure. She dumped me. Oh, shit, Remus blinked. Sorry, mate. Was that last night too? Last week, Peter said with uncharacteristic coldness in his voice. Sorry, Remus said again, embarrassed. He didn't think he'd actually spoken to Peter about anything much in weeks. He'd been so wrapped up in Sirius and the Wolf Pack and Sirius and Christopher, he'd resolved to do much better with all his friends. After all, as soon as he turned 17, they'd be all he had. I'm really sorry, Wormtail, he said kindly. Want to play chess instead, then?
And this is how it begins. This is what turned Wormtail.
I think this is the start right here.
I think it was because of Lupin. Lupin caused everything because he didn't notice Wormtail's been sad about Desdemona.
I think it's going to be everyone is just going to not pay him enough attention.
Peter.
Pumpkin Eater. Monday, 16th of January, 1977. Remus was genuinely sorry to hear about Peter and Desi. She'd never really been part of their group, but she was a nice enough girl and she made Peter happy. She'd given him something that James and Sirius did not have, and that was special in and of itself. The breakup had ostensibly been simply down to a change in attitudes. They'd been seeing each other since they were 14, and at 16 it seemed that Desdemona wished to spread her wings a bit. She might change her mind, Remus suggested to a glum-faced Peter over their third chess game. Doubt it, Peter huffed. Reckon she's got a crush on that Roman Rotherhide bloke. Wanker. Knight to F3. I thought Mary was seeing him. Mary sees everyone, Peter sniggered meanly. She's like the girl version of Padfoot. Ferox's reply arrived later that Sunday evening. Remus, I'm afraid I can't invite you into Hogsmeade, but I can meet you for supper on Monday evening at the castle. I'll meet you outside the Great Hall at 6 p.m. That was okay. Good enough. He could ask what he needed to ask anywhere. Remus went to his lessons as usual on Monday and told the marauders at lunchtime. Sirius was speaking to him again, but not properly. For every small step forward, he and Remus seemed to take 3 enormous steps back again. I'm having tea with Ferox tonight, he explained, so I won't see you till later. He knew James had Quidditch practice, which Peter would be watching, now that he had no girlfriend. Sirius sat up straighter. Should we come too? Why? Remus asked, fixing him with a cold stare. Sirius shrugged and looked back at his soup. By the time 6 o'clock rolled round, Remus was practically pacing the halls. He didn't want to look over-eager, so he waited at the top of the landing before going down to the main staircase at just 1 minute past the hour. This turned out to be something of a mistake. By the time he got there, Mary had found Ferox and struck up a conversation. "Remus!" she grinned as he descended. "Look who's here!" "It's Mr. Lupin I'm here to see." Ferox smiled easily, shaking Remus's hand. It all felt very grown up. "I'm trying to convince him to come back and teach us again," Mary explained cheerfully. "We miss him, don't we, Remus?" Yeah, of course," Remus nodded. Mary smiled at him and touched his forearm, leaning into him in a very familiar sort of way. He couldn't remember if she had ever done that before. "Can you wait here?" she asked Ferox, still touching Remus. "Marlene'll be down in a minute. She'd love to see you." "I'm afraid we need to be getting on," Ferox said kindly. "Maybe another time, Miss MacDonald. Remus, shall we?" Remus followed Ferox up the staircase rather than toward the hall, leaving Mary at the bottom. "Thought we could do with a bit of privacy," Ferox muttered. "Professor Kettleburn has kindly let me borrow my old office." Remus had only been in the Care of Magical Creatures office since the day Ferox had left to request an extension on an essay after a full moon. Kettleburn was a Spartan sort of man who'd chosen not to decorate at all, but had stacks of paperwork strewn all over the place. Ferox tidied this neatly away with a swish of his wand before summoning drinks and 2 plates for supper. The food appeared just as it did in the Great Hall. Ham, egg, and chips tonight. "My favourite," Ferox smiled, motioning that Remus begin eating. They tucked in quietly for a few minutes, and Remus enjoyed the novelty of sharing dinner with a friend rather than hundreds of other people. "So," he said, mopping up the last of his egg yolk with a chip, "I wanted to talk about Livia." "Look at you," Ferox nodded at him. 2 years ago, and I could barely get you to say 2 words to me about yourself." Remus shrugged. "No time to be shy anymore, I suppose. There's a war on." "Don't I bloody know it," Ferox sighed. "All right, go on, lad." "Okay," Remus took a deep breath. "I don't want to join them, Greyback. I don't want to be part of their pack or anything like that." Ferox nodded but said nothing. Remus, emboldened, continued. "But I think I could find them easily. I think they could find me. And they still want me. That's what Dumbledore wants, isn't it? A back door to the werewolves. I can do that. I know what I did was stupid, and I won't do it again, not while I'm at Hogwarts. Not until I'm at least of age, but now I know her. Now I know what they're like. I'm not afraid. I can do it." "I see." "As Dumbledore said, no, but I'm not stupid," Remus said dismissively. "He hasn't asked me to do anything, because he never asks. He just makes sure you know what he wants. But there are things I want too." "And what are those?" "I'm not signing the register on my birthday," Remus said steadily. "I'm not exposing myself to the Ministry. I've looked into it. If I do, I have to report to them for 3 days every month. They'll lock me up, I assume. It's not very clear from the information they put out. I can't keep a job like that. If Dumbledore needs a spy, then he needs me to be untraceable too." "I see," Ferox said again. "But I'm not finished," Remus snapped. "Afterwards, if we win, I want amnesty for the werewolves. Even Greyback's pack. Not Greyback, obviously, but his followers." "Remus, that's completely—" "No, it isn't." Remus folded his arms. "You don't know. Livia might be batshit, but she's not wrong. A choice between freedom under Greyback or imprisonment under the Ministry is an easy one to make." Ferox looked at him for a long time. Remus drank his pumpkin juice, his throat very dry. His heart was beating so fast that he thought Ferox might be able to hear it. "These aren't necessarily things Dumbledore can do," Ferox said slowly. "Bullshit!" Remus set down his goblet a little too hard on the desk. "I can bring it to him," Ferox sighed, sounding defeated. "But I can't make promises." "Well," Remus replied coolly, "I'm 17 in 2 months, so there's the deadline." "Blimey!" Ferox scratched his head. He sounded impressed rather than angry. You don't half remind me of Lyle right now. What happened to that hot-headed kid who was always getting into scraps? I'm not hot-headed, Remus said simply. I'm still hot-headed, Remus said simply. I think Lyle probably was too. It's not that I think Dumbledore can solve all my problems, but I wanted to lay all my cards on the table. Fair enough, Ferox nodded. All's fair in love and war, eh? I wouldn't know about that, Remus replied. Their plates vanished suddenly, then reappeared, bearing 2 big wedges of chocolate cake topped with fruit. They ate them quietly, both deep in thought, occasionally shooting looks at each other. How's it going with Moody? Remus asked casually. I suppose you probably can't tell me anything. You suppose right, Ferox nodded. Moody's well, though. Complete nutter, but glad he's on our side. And Achilles? Achilles is fine, Ferox smiled. Staying with a friend of mine. Speaking of which, how long's the romance been going on, eh, Lupin? The what? Remus stared at him, wide-eyed. Ferox laughed. With Miss MacDonald down there. I'd have matched you better with Marlene, but I suppose the heart wants what it wants, eh? Oh! Remus relaxed. No, Mary's just a friend. Ferox said, obviously not quite believing him. What's brought on this personality switch, eh? Why does it have to be about a girl? 2 years is a long time, Remus said, annoyed. It's not like I've suddenly changed. Look, I first said I'd help Dumbledore fight when I was 14, he tried to explain. And then last year, James Potter told us all he planned to join as soon as he left school, and we all said we would too, and I was always going to, you know, but just because James and Sirius wanted to. I never had a reason really myself. We're all going to suffer if you know who wins, Ferox said. Yeah, I suppose, Remus nodded diplomatically. I know that, but I mean, well, I never really had much of a stake in it before. Now I've met Livia, I don't think anything's going to be that great for me after school finishes, no matter who's in power. I want a stake, if I live. You shouldn't compare yourself to them, Remus. The pack. I can't help it, can I? Everyone else will. You know my friend, Sirius Black? Not well, Ferox replied. The Potters took him in, didn't they? I thought it was a bit odd, knowing his family. Exactly, Remus said triumphantly. Sirius is my best friend and a Gryffindor, and the Potters love him. But everyone... But to everyone else, he's still a Black. He'll spend the rest of his life trying not to be, no matter how many good things he does, because people never forget things like that. They think that what you are makes you who you are. It's the same for me. Remus was struggling now to keep explaining. Ferox looked completely lost. He sighed heavily. I'm sorry it has to go through you. You're the only person I know who has any weight with Dumbledore who I trust. Who trusts me. Ferox watched him again with a steady expression. I will try, Remus. You're asking a lot. Remus frowned. He thought of Livia, her bare feet, her ragged clothes, her terrible cough, and the hollow look in her eyes. It was no way to live. He might be asking for a lot, but Remus had never asked for anything before in his life. He hoped Dumbledore remembered that.
Well, okay. What do you think about that? I don't think Dumbledore is going to go for it.
No. I don't think so. Well, I think Dumbledore will go for it in the sense that he'll totally let him spy for him.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be like, yeah, amnesty for werewolves, that's not going to happen.
No. Maybe amnesty for him.
Yeah, but it doesn't work out because in book 3, like, he can't get a job and stuff because he's registered as a werewolf.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I forgot that he was registered, that they mentioned that.
But,
Okay, so Dumbledore is going to shoot him down.
I think
Confirmed.
I think Remus doesn't understand how complicated and difficult it would be for Dumbledore to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But it was a really good chapter.
It was a really good chapter.
I loved the writing of how he's trying to explain. It kind of reminds me of book 2 when Dumbledore says it's our choices that make us who we really are.
Mm-hmm.
And Remus is saying, like, Sirius is going to spend his whole life fighting against who people think he is because his name is Black. And it's never going to matter because he's always going to be a Black no matter what he does.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for me.
Exactly.
And Lupin,
always a werewolf.
I think Lupin is, rather than hating Livia, I think he's very empathetic towards her. And I think he sees her as something.
Well, she's just misguided.
But he can see, like, he can understand why she chose the path she chose and
she made
how
some good points, but it's not the way to get what she wants.
No. And he looks at her with her ragged clothes and her bare feet and her cough and her lice and everything, and he's just like, this is terrible. No one should be forced to live this way. This is awful. Yeah, that was good. What you are isn't who you are.
That's right.
It was good. It was a nice little line in there. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, possibly why Sirius didn't have a trial. Because he's a Black.
Yeah, maybe.
He must have been in with them all along because the Blacks are always bad.
You gotta be a dark wizard.
Yeah. Everything was just a front the whole time.
And I kind of agree, Pyro. That's a problem with prequels is you kind of know how things are going to pan out.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see how they pan out. Because a lot of times it's kind of like, well, how could something like that happen?
I also just want to touch on what Alicia set up here. I want to know what happened to Fluffy after the first book.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a Pottermore something somewhere where Fluffy was sent to live somewhere in Greece.
I thought you were going to say on a farm.
No.
No. Don't you dare.
No. Fluffy went to Greece, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
He went home.
Yeah, Fluffy went home.
To live in a cave underground?
Possibly.
Well, does his new owner have blue hair?
Made of flame?
Hot and spiky?
Does he like picking up pieces of candy off the ground?
There you go. This is how the Disney universe takes over
everything.
Harry Potter.
Starts with Fluffy. But I think that is a thing, what happened to Fluffy. I'm pretty sure, like, Hagrid's had to sell him to an owner, a private owner or something in Greece. Like, I think that's, like, the whole thing, is that's where Fluffy went. But Fluffy is okay. He's living his best life.
I'll accept that. That's good.
Greece is a nice place.
Right.
I mean, we won't know until we get later in the book. Maybe they do get amnesty, but then a new government takes over and they repeal it or something.
Maybe they get amnesty and then Fudge takes over. It's like, yeah, no.
Could be. It could be. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Fudge in action. Umbridge is his secretary, so that tells you a lot about Mr. Fudgesicle.
Or maybe they'll agree on it, and then, like, one of the werewolves, like, says, screw this, and attacks one of the bailiffs.
Yeah, or something awful happens.
Wizard equivalent.
Aren't those Dementors?
Only when
Umbridge is in charge. Yeah, right?
Give the candy to Alice Longbottom.
Oh, God. That's terrible.
So what's the next chapter called?
Mary, Mary.
Oh, boy. Mary getting around.
I don't want to read this chapter.
think Peter's also very salty about Desdemona. Have a moment about Peter's first breakup.
He is upset about Desdemona.
Yeah. Desi.
Husband just got home, so I'll catch the rest later. Love listening to you all live. It was great to see you. Tonight's for Tony. Come back on Saturday if you can.
Yes, Saturday. We usually do a little bit longer live stream on Saturdays because we have the time.
Oh. There's a content warning.
Oh. I mean, honestly, so far the content warnings really haven't been
This
that
one
bad.
literally just says sex.
Oh. That's it?
It says content warning. Sex.
I feel like you should whisper it.
Sex.
Content warning. Sex.
Oh, I don't want Lupin to bang Mary. Or Mary to bang Lupin. Whoever initiates. I just...
Lupin's gotta know.
Know what?
Maybe he's bi and he doesn't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe he's bi.
Maybe he's
That'll
still
explain
slightly
talks.
confused.
I don't think he's... Maybe he's not gay. Maybe he's just serious sexual.
My mom. No, we're not ending. And hello. And thank you for the follow, too. Appreciate it.
Sex is fine.
We're just having a discussion in between chapters, that's all.
Yeah, I need to take a drink. Take a drink.
Read that part in reverse. And then Lupin helped Mary put on her clothes.
She got up off of his pee-pee. And then she... Oh. Okay. Let's just...
Anyways.
We need to
all right.
I'm getting there.
Let's do it. But, not like that. Well, we can't, yeah. Sex, okay?
The birds and bees do it. Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Oh, God. All right.
No more putting it off. You've taken like 5 drinks from 3 different glasses. It is time.
Hydration is important. What should I make for dinner while I listen to the stream? Chicken, veggies, potatoes, and all kinds of spices. Any suggestions? Oh, that's all you. Go.
Oof.
Do you have pasta?
I mean, potatoes. I always love doing like the sauteed garlic potatoes. A little bit of butter, garlic, and everything in there. Oh, delish. And then,
See? Pyrochameleon. Hey. Don't rush. God, this one looks like a big chapter too.
depending on the veggies, I mean, maybe doing like a stuffed chicken.
He's got some linguine in a box.
Oh. Really not. Kind of drawing a blank. So much you can do with chicken.
Make chicken Kiev.
That's true. Just wrap the stick of butter up in the chicken. Cook it.
Yeah, make some chicken Kiev. Chicken Alfredo with potats. I don't know.
Oh yeah, if you have broccoli, I mean, some linguine. Make some Alfredo sauce, chicken.
I'm the baker though. I'm not the cook. I'm not the chef with the. Anyway, are we ready? Chapter 108, 6th year. Mary, Mary. Content warning. Taters? What's taters, precious?
Chicken Alfredo. There you go.
Yay,
Chicken Alfredo
nice,
is
nice.
always a good call.
Never go wrong with that. Mary, Mary, where you going to? Mary, Mary, can I go too? This one thing I value, I'd rather die than live without you. Mary, Mary, where you going to?
You just kind of made that up.
Yep.
Made the beat.
Friday, 5th of... Took all those drinks and now I'm coughing. Nasty fat hobbitses. Ruins nice tasty fish.
You're getting better at your
My Gollum.
Gollum.
I gotta practice my Gollum. We will do the Tolkien books. I don't know when we're gonna start the Tolkien books. But everyone wants to know when we're gonna start them.
That's you. It's up to you.
When we want to, precious. Figure it out. I've got to work on my Gollum. Friday, 5th of February, 1977. The rest of January seemed to whiz by in a blur, and Remus tried just to get back to normal. The full moon landed early in the month, and Remus threatened to lock the marauders out of the shack if they didn't promise to stay inside this time. Eventually he knew he would weaken and allow them to begin letting him out again, but he felt they ought to play it safe, at least for a while. The sudden distance between Remus and Sirius was painful, and made all the more difficult by the fact that their relationship, such as it was, had been a secret all along. Remus resorted to his usual tactic, burying himself in his studies, while Sirius absorbed himself in Emmeline. He was sulking, Remus knew, and for once he didn't blame him. The whole messy situation only proved to Remus that they had to put a stop to it as soon as they could. It was becoming impossible to stay friends, and they needed to be friends before anything else. The problem was, Sirius hadn't come to him at all since the night they'd slept in the common room. Remus was terrified that this meant it was already over, that Sirius had come to that realization on his own and simply chosen to stop. And Remus would not allow that. It couldn't just be finished without either of them saying anything about it. Surely. "You held my hand," he wanted to say. "You saw me cry." The day after the February full moon, Remus lay in his usual hospital bed, pondering these things. He had a cut on his arm, which Madame Pomfrey had told him to practice his healing charms on. It was very basic, but he was so tired after his transformation. "You have to try, dear," the Mediwitch said unsympathetically. "You wanted to be able to take care of yourself after the moon, so you're going to have to learn to find the strength." He prodded the cut, already healing by itself anyway, making another half-hearted attempt to fix it. Nothing. The marks Livia had left were dulled to pale pink now, and Madame Pomfrey thought they would probably vanish in time, if they weren't inherently magical wounds. "You're welcome to leave," she called to him now from her office. "If you're just going to sit there moping, go and see your friends." Remus didn't bother telling her it was his friends, or rather one friend in particular, he was moping about. But he never thought twice when she gave permission for him to leave, so he got up and dressed quickly, hurrying out of the hospital wing. "See you Tuesday," he called on his way out. It was after lunch, and there was only one lesson left that day, Care of Magical Creatures, which Remus wasn't much in the mood for. He was ahead of the rest of the class anyway, and no one would miss him. He sloped along the corridors aimlessly for a while, still thinking about Sirius and Emmeline and how he was ever going to... Wait a minute. He stopped and frowned, looking at the nearest portrait. Something was very off about it. The painting depicted an elderly wizard with thinning hair and a neat little goatee peering through a large golden telescope. For some reason, he was wearing an enormous bright red curly wig. It didn't seem to bother him. He just kept adjusting the sight on his contraption, murmuring quietly to himself. Remus snorted and looked at the next picture along. This one contained a group of pretty, buxom young shepherdesses tending to their flock, and they all had bright red wigs on too. The same with the next portrait, a witch carrying an overflowing basket of fruit, garish scarlet curls bouncing on her head, and the next, a sinister-looking monk whose red wig actually sat on top of his hood. None of the subjects of the painting seemed at all perturbed as Remus followed the trail of bizarre headwear to the third-floor mezzanine. "Padfoot!" Remus gasped when he found the culprit. Sirius was at ease, hands in his pockets, chatting casually to a painting of a giggly sea nymph in a large golden frame. When she saw Remus, she gave a shriek and dived into the waves below. "Aw, Mooney, what'd you scare her for?" Sirius tutted. "I was just about to cast a spell." "This is brilliant," Remus grinned, gesturing at all the pictures he'd passed. "How come you never told me you were doing it? Is James in on it?" "Yeah, he's taking the east wing," Sirius nodded, moving on to the next painting. "We just had the idea walking back to bed this morning. Sorry, thought you'd still be sleeping." "Madame Pomfrey let me go. Oh, right, you probably want to go to the library or something. I'm nearly finished here, no need for you to stick around." "No, Oh, shit!" The big grandfather clock in the great hall had begun chiming. Every classroom door was about to burst open and students come pouring out for the next lesson. "They'll know it's us," Sirius said. "Quick!" He pulled James's invisibility cloak out from his robes and raised it up like a tent. Remus hurried over to get under it, crouching slightly to compensate for their height difference. They both backed up against the wall and waited. The doors began to slam open one at a time, and torrents of students filled the previously quiet space. Invisible and trapped, Remus realized this was the best chance he'd had in days. "Oi!" he whispered directly into Sirius's ear. He felt the other boy tense. "Are you still angry with me? What are you... You're avoiding me." "No, I'm not." Sirius pushed back suddenly as a third-year girl came a bit too close. He backed straight into Remus's chest so that their whole bodies were now touching practically. "James said to give you space," he murmured. "And you left me out of the Hogshead mission, even after you said we'd go together." "It wasn't a mission," Remus whispered, struggling to keep his voice low. People were noticing the vandalized portraits now, pointing and laughing round them. "And I never agreed to go together." "Well, it sent the message that you wanted space," Sirius shot back. He turned round so he could whisper into Remus's ear too. They were still touching in some places, trying not to in others. "I'm sorry, okay?" Remus replied. "I didn't think you'd take it so hard." "I'm not taking it hard," Sirius spluttered, mortally offended. "You make me sound like..." "Like what?" Remus challenged. He could feel Sirius begin to pull away, so he kissed him. Fuck it. Thankfully, Sirius kissed him back. As the hallways emptied once again, the noise slowly petering out, the two boys hidden in plain sight under the cloak were completely oblivious. Finally, Sirius did pull away, and Remus allowed it. So now you like me again," Sirius grumbled. "Can't bloody keep up with you." "What are you talking about? You were avoiding me." "I thought you wanted me to." "Well, yeah, okay, I did, but not until we'd at least talked." "I really don't see what there is to talk about." Sirius threw off the cloak. His hair fell back into place while Remus's was abuzz with static until he smoothed it down. "We're either doing, or we're not." God, I love arguing with you, Remus thought, feeling the heat flare up in his neck. Desire for Sirius just about burning him up. I could argue with you forever. "So," Sirius said, backing away from Remus, knocking him out of his lustful haze. "Which is it?" "Well, it's a bit unfair to ask me that right now." Sirius bit his bottom lip and cocked an eyebrow. Remus just about died. "Come on, then." Sirius jerked his head, moving toward the nearest staircase. "I'm bunking off divinations." "Divination? Dorm's empty."
Oh, maybe it isn't Mary.
Thursday, 10th of February, 1977. What a mess. By the end of the next week, they were basically back to the beginning again. No talking, just touching. Sirius went out publicly with Emmeline, and at night he crept into Remus's bed, provided the coast was clear, of course. Sirius was nothing if not discreet, in that case at least. Conversely, Remus was finding that part more difficult than ever. Just a few months ago it would have been fine. It had been fine. Just another secret to add to the list, another part of himself he mustn't let others see. But a lot had happened since then. Lily knew he was a werewolf, for example. That had been a surprising relief. Sharing the secret with her had been a good thing, he was quite sure. Then there was Christopher, so courageous in bearing his soul, and all Remus could offer back were half-truths. When it came down to it, Remus could face a vicious killer in a dark alley, could make demands on Dumbledore himself. But he could not say no to Sirius. A real bloody mess. In one moment of utter weakness, Remus even found himself nearly confessing everything to James. They were in the library looking for some obscure Defense Against the Dark Arts textbook when Potter brought up Valentine's Day, which was looming. "I'm asking Evans to Hogsmeade this weekend, obviously," he said cheerily. "She'll say no for tradition's sake, but I'm winning her over. I can feel it." Remus sighed, running his finger along the supple leather spines of ancient texts. It wasn't that he wanted to celebrate Valentine's Day. It was a stupid girly day which he wanted nothing to do with, but he resented everyone else wanting to do things for it. "And Wormtail actually asked out Dorcas Meadows." James laughed, crouching down to check a lower shelf. "Can you believe that? Sometimes I think he's got more guts than any of us." "Who's Dorcas Meadows?" "You've met her, haven't you? Hufflepuff in our year." Remus shrugged. "I suppose Sirius is taking Emmeline to Hogsmeade."
Wait, her name is Dorcas? I thought he was like picking on her at
No.
first. Her name's actually Dorcas. Her parents hate her.
"I suppose Sirius is taking Emmeline to Hogsmeade," he said. "Yeah, I expect so," James replied, pulling out a book and opening it to check the index. "Or one of his many adoring fans if she dumps him before then." "What?" "Nothing." Remus shook his head, picking up a book at random and pretending to read it. "Not being a wee judgmental there, are you, Moony?" James wheedled, grinning. "No, of course not." Remus fought to keep a straight face. "Padfoot can do whatever he likes, but don't you think he's, I don't know, a bit much, all these girls? Like he's showing off?" "It's not loads of girls. He's been with Emmeline since December, hasn't he? "January," Remus replied archly. "He was single over Christmas." "Well, then, that's fine. The rest are just flirting. He's always liked attention." "Yeah, but look, you need to just let Sirius be serious. He's a bit of a twat sometimes, but he's had a rough time of it. Let him enjoy himself if he wants." James stood up and looked at him sideways, appraising. "You know, Moony, wouldn't kill you to have a bit of fun either." "Ha!" Remus snorted. "Oi, mate!" James leaned over his shoulder to read the book Remus had open. "Well done, you found it!" Have a bit of fun. So, perhaps Remus could blame it all on James. What happened next, anyway?
Okay, so it is Mary.
Saturday, 12th of February, 1977. She'd been flirting with him for ages. Remus knew pretty well what flirting looked like by now, in the way she smiled, head tilted downward, the way she started pressing a hand to his chest when he made her laugh, which definitely seemed to happen more than usual too. The cute little wiggle girls do when they're fixing their tights. Eventually they found themselves alone in the common room on that Hogsmeade weekend just before Valentine's Day, homework finished, sitting squashed up on the sofa, and she just asked, which was more than Sirius had ever done. Remus and Mary had always been good friends. He liked her a lot. Her sunny, carefree nature had always appealed to his own gloomier side, her confidence to his introversion. He'd ignored the flirting altogether, finding it mildly flattering, but otherwise uninteresting, until she decided to stay at the castle with him instead of going to Hogsmeade. How come you're not on a date, anyway? Remus asked as they signed off on their last few notes for their history essays.
Oh, but she is on a date. Remus just doesn't know it yet.
I wanted to spend time with you. She smiled at him, setting back on the couch, her thigh touching his. Can't have you here all lonely. I'm not as much fun as Roman Rotherhide, I bet. Remus laughed, still not quite believing the direction this was taking. Her hand was on his knee. Was she going to leave it there? Oh, crikey, no, she was not. Well, I don't know about that, she said, her voice low, leaning into him now as her long fingers moved slowly upwards. I'd like to judge for myself. She blinked slowly and leaned in, kissing him softly on the lips. He was frozen on the spot. She smiled cheekily. Well, do you fancy it?
Thank you for heating up the kitties.
It's okay, Doda. It's okay, Doda. It's okay, Doda. She was very pretty. He wasn't as close to her as he was with Lily, so really, he reasoned, where was the harm? Whatever was going on with Sirius clearly didn't mean neither of them couldn't look elsewhere, and if Sirius could do it, then so could he. Only fair. He led her upstairs. You're lovely, she whispered, lying on his bed, eyes dark. He ran his hand up her soft thigh. Between her legs she was slick like warm oil.
That's not as attractive as I think the author meant it to be.
Or, yeah, it's ugh.
Oh. Now I'm just thinking of greasy fast food.
I know, that's all all I can think of is olive oil or, grease dripping off of a piece of pizza or something.
Like Remus is about to go eat lunch at the McDonald's at the bad end of town.
Really greasy fish and chips.
Oh.
Afterwards, he wasn't sure what to make of it. It was certainly nothing to complain about. She was gorgeous, and the blood heat of her around him was definitely something very exciting. But it wasn't the same as those dark, furtive nights with Sirius. Had none of the rich complexity, the sure understanding. Mary's soft, jolly breasts were no substitute for Sirius's firm grip. Her sweet, panting sighs did not arouse him in the same way as Sirius's hot, rasping groans. All things said and done, while Remus was certainly glad to have had the experience, he didn't think it was something he was much interested in repeating. Sunday, 13th of January, 1977.
Well, now he knows.
Hey, he tried it.
Yeah.
Kudos for trying, right?
Did try the fast food version of it.
Apparently. Grilled cheese.
Oh, Dan, why?
Ew.
But yeah, still a better date than the one with Cho.
Only a day after the Mary experiment, Sirius was back. It was mid-afternoon, but James and Peter were both in the library studying for an upcoming Muggle Studies exam. It began as ever in silence and quiet, desperate need. Sirius was clutching and pulling at Remus's clothes, then he rolled over and seemed to stop. He sniffed the pillow. Is that? That smells like... He inhaled again. Mary's perfume? Yeah, Remus replied uneasily. He'd just removed his shirt and was feeling exposed already, not sure if they were stopping altogether or just making casual conversation. She was here, yesterday. Oh, right. You and her? Well, it was just a sort of one-off thing. Is that okay? Yeah. Sirius's eyes clouded over slightly as if his mind were working extra fast. Yeah, of course. Good for you, mate. I know you two were, but it was ages ago, and now you're with Emmeline, so... Of course, I'm pleased for you, honestly. Mary's great. Yeah, she is. There were a few moments of silence, and Remus considered putting his shirt back on, but then Sirius leaned over, his expression changing, like a storm passing. He touched the scar that started at Remus's collarbone, dragged his finger down along its ragged path toward his navel. Remus shivered. So how was it? What? Remus wanted to close his eyes, relax under Sirius's long fingers. Sex, Sirius said. Remus's eyes opened, confused. He wanted to know? It was good. She's, so soft, you know. I mean, you know. Yeah. Sirius breathed into his neck, half on top of him now, his hand working Remus's belt. Afterwards, they sat beside each other, and all Remus wanted to do was lay his head on Sirius's burning chest and close his eyes and just be. But he didn't. He stared at his friend, who was already lighting a cigarette, skin still pink and shining, and thought to himself ruefully, this will never be enough.
How was it? Oh, she was soft and very feminine.
She had boobs.
It was great. It's great. It's great. That was so awful. The description.
I wonder if it's because it's supposed to be from Remus's perspective, so
Maybe.
that's why he's like it felt like oil. I don't know, She had soft boobies. I don't know.
Oily, yes. Well, I mean, I know they put the trigger warning in the beginning, but wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, she did describe her hot bloodness on himself.
Yeah,
The euphemisms were the descriptions were very
time,
bland.
there have been previous chapters where she described Sirius and Remus's coitus, and there was no warning. So
it was just like
marriage
Remus
was
grabbed
afraid?
Sirius's hips and pulled on him.
No, there was a couple chapters where it was a lot more detail.
That's the one I remember the most because it was like the first. It was the first one. Remus
Of
grabbed.
course you would remember.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's the one scene I
Got
remember.
a thing for Remus and Sirius?
I don't remember the other ones really very well. Maybe I've blocked them out of my mind. I don't know. Maybe she just shaved and lotioned her legs.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I get what he was trying to describe. It was just how he described it.
Felt like oil.
Or how the author described
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was like warm oil.
It was like dipping my hand
Okay.
into a deep fryer that had been turned off
It was
for
like-
5 hours.
It was like warm apple pie. Oh, there's a throwback for the 90s kids.
It was like warm apple pie.
Classic movie.
Also, Sirius is totally jealous.
Oh, 100%.
Totally
I
jealous.
think that was Remus's whole
Yeah. Oh, it was
make him
it was
jealous.
totally oh yeah. Well, when you go to a Waffle House, you see a warning on the menu that the items are hot. My point is, the warning for my toast there was hotter than the warning for that chapter.
Oh my god, that's great.
That's brilliant, Mike. That's
I
great.
couldn't have thought of a more perfect way to put it.
But yeah, it's every time in like content warning, we have this happening. Drug use.
Oh,
And
you
drug use literally is like Remus pulled out a spliff and lit it. Okay. That's alright.
Mm-hmm.
Or
They went to
serious.
smoke behind the greenhouses.
Yeah. I mean, I get that the
Oh.
author is trying to like
I wonder
deter any and all people from being remotely offended, but throwback, we're still in the 90s.
if only. Simpler times. More colorful times.
Definitely more colorful times, more tie-dyed times.
And unfortunately, a lot more denim. A lot of denim.
And grunge.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean,
A lot of denim, yeah.
some good grunge bands though. Anyways, I digress. I was gonna say something I can't remember now. I got warped back on a nostalgia trip.
Fine. Just think about those 90s kids. That's what Dudley looks like, but fat.
Bowl cuts and big baggy jeans.
That's Dudley. Because it's like 1994 or whatever, you know, like 1995 when he gets demented by the Dementor.
I like the super colorful caps.
Yeah. That was
Slightly
Dudley.
sideways.
Yeah, that was Dudley.
Beastie Boy style.
Yeah.
I can picture him dressing like Beastie Boys.
Probably listens to the Beastie Boys at his friend's house. Doesn't let his mom know. Maybe when he comes home late and Petunia's upset, Dudley goes, "Mom, I'm fighting for my right to party. Leave me alone." You never see anything about Dudley's life.
Where's that? I want to see that movie.
I'm assuming, you know, the Beastie... Oh, Neon, too. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Neon, everything.
It's great times.
Anyway.
But
either way, we thought we were getting... sex. And instead we got fish and chips.
oily fish and chips.
Oily fish and chips. 90s kids listen to Eminem. Maybe.
I mean, I'm a 90s kid. I listen to Eminem, so...
Me too.
Confirmed.
Confirmed, yeah. Oh my god, crimping your hair. Yep. Crimping your hair. I remember we'd go to my friend's house, we'd all crimp each other's hair for the school dances. Oh my god. What was wrong with us?
Did you crimp your hair?
Yes, I did. I crimped my hair.
There was a point in middle school, I remember all the white girls got cornrows. But it was just like the front was cornrows and the back was normal.
I remember that.
Style.
Yeah. We had
Like a thing.
Yep, cornrows. 80s kids, Tupac. Yeah, true enough. 90s kids listen to Tupac too. I listen to Tupac.
Well, yeah.
But
Eminem was definitely in the 90s.
But yeah, I mean, Tupac was that age, that generation. Yeah. Eminem was definitely ours, for sure.
And you got to think, you know, you're picturing Remus and Sirius more of their 90s style look, but...
This is the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they look like Eric and Kelso and Fez. That's what they look like.
This is that 70s show. Hogwarts edition.
Hogwarts edition. Right.
Oh man, if they ever do like all the young dudes in there, like do like stage play or even a show or something like that, they do a spin-off, they should get all the cast from that 70s show.
Oh my
play
god.
The characters. Fez would have to be Wormtail.
Topher Grace has to be Lupin.
Yeah.
Or James Potter, I guess. I don't know. No.
Kelso is James.
Topher Grace would have to be James Potter because Donna's got to be Lily.
Oh, yeah.
She's redhead.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Maybe Kelso should be serious. He's always dating all the girls.
Yeah.
Kelso should be serious.
Yeah, Kelso's serious.
She was soft and oily and disappointing. Sounds like a typical sexual experience.
Sums up my college dating life.
Oh, God. Doesn't sound like my college dating life, thank God. Oh.
Lucky you.
I guess Jackie would be Mary McDonald. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to work it out somewhere.
We'll have to figure it out. I'm trying to think of who Red would be.
Oh, man. I don't know. Maybe Ferox?
Is that how he treats Lupin? What do you mean werewolves for, you dumbass?
You meet another werewolf, my foot's gonna meet your ass.
Would Kitty be
no.
like Lupin or McGonagall then? Maybe.
No, Kitty was a nurse, so it'd be
Madame
Madame
Pomfrey.
Pomfrey.
Yeah, I guess so. It'd have to be Madame Pomfrey.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So
Do the spell yourself, Lupin.
do you think like all the kids in Hufflepuff know that Sprout grows weed? Because at this point, I think we've said it enough and hypothesized enough that it's just a thing.
Well, maybe it's not illegal in the magical community.
Maybe. I think like the Hufflepuffs come there and she's just like, "All right, kids, we're gonna learn how to grow. What are we gonna learn how to grow, Miss Sprout? Some good shit."
Professor Sprout. Nana. Professor Sprout.
Now, Professor Sprout, my dime bag.
Call her by her title.
Look, you know who I meant. It's fine. Wasn't Ashton Kutcher a werewolf at some point? Was he?
I did not
No.
follow his career very well. I couldn't say. The Sprout Buds.
Sprout Buds, yeah. Oh man, Professor Sprout became a professor not because she wanted to learn how to teach. She wanted free labor for her grow operation. All the kids are there doing the work.
Could be.
Child labor.
Could be.
No, it's not child labor. I'm teaching them.
Hey,
They're
you
learning.
never know. I mean, you never know.
They not only learn about herbology, they're learning economics.
Excuse me.
Supply demand, kids.
Fair enough.
You gonna make it?
Hmm.
You had a look on your face like you were gonna like die.
It was a hard swallow.
Oh, okay.
It was like a hard swallow. Sorry, I might be making that up.
I mean, he might have been like on the show or something.
I don't know.
That's actually a show I haven't watched in a long time.
Yeah,
I watched like every episode like 5 times, and I don't think it's like it's not on any streaming service that I remember that I could think of.
I thought it was. I thought it was on Netflix for a hot minute.
Yeah, but it hasn't been on there for a while. Maybe it
I
still
don't
is. I don't know. They took it off at one point.
Maybe it's on Peacock or something.
10 galleons a leaf.
Damn!
That better be some dank shit.
Only Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter can afford that. Like, shit.
10 gals maybe for a leaf of the snoot powder.
Who's selling that?
Probably Draco Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy's selling that. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. Lucius Malfoy at this point, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
Draco Malfoy's selling the pixie powder.
There.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Pixie sticks. They got a different terminology for pixie sticks over there.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't get sugar in their pixie sticks.
No. Not at all.
Yeah, herbology is just the unpaid internship.
I'll bite.
Neville's an entrepreneur. That's why he took over the position.
Neville learned a lot.
Yep.
See, that's why him and Hannah Abbott, they're like a dynamic duo. He's the professor of herbology. She runs a bar.
Ah, there you go. There you go. You have production and distribution.
Yep.
Right there.
Right there.
Not to mention, after what Neville did, I mean, who's going to mess with him? The
Right.
man is like a
legend.
Yeah.
A legend.
He's the leader of his own drug cartel.
Hogwarts, the drug
Like,
capital
no.
of the UK.
You don't want to... you don't want to take over that town. hear what Neville Longbottom did? Don Longbottom.
Pyrochameleon says that one of their friends always says that Professor Oak gets all the kids to do his work so he never has to pay for the labor. You never have to ask for grants if you're using kids.
That's
It's true.
It's messed up, but it's true.
You don't have to beg for money for research if
The
Ash
kids are
Ketchum
doing
is
it for
doing
you.
it for you.
All you have to do is give them some little Pokemon. There you go. Have fun.
Go out into the world and do my research for me.
Now, get away from me, kid. Send me back Pokemon.
Yep. And data.
Yes, then data.
Hypothesize and observe. Go forth now. That kid Brock is worthless. He doesn't even have eyes.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird. That was like the biggest question I had when I first saw that show. Like, how does he see? He just has his eyes closed the whole time. I think there are a few episodes where he does that like reaction where he opens his eyes.
Yeah.
And it makes the reaction that much funnier.
Well, of course, because then you never see the eyes. So if Draco Malfoy is... I was an unpaid intern. I confirm everything being said here. I want that internship. So if Sprout is selling sprouts, Draco Malfoy is selling dust.
Mm-hmm.
Slughorn's got to be brewing some kind of moonshine.
He sells Felix Felicis.
He sells Felix Felicis.
Now that's 10 galleons a
That's 10.
spoon.
Yeah, that's 10 galleons. Like
10 galleons a shot.
a galleon a drop.
Auto shop class, yeah, that's a bit of the same. I remember in the auto shop class, though, they let kids bring in their cars, and then they got free parts and labor. So you could fix up your own car for free.
Mike says, I don't know if I've ever told this here before, but what did the deer say when he left the gay bar? Man, I just blew $50 in there. Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. I love that.
Oh, that's a great joke.
Oh, man, that's getting locked away.
Yeah, I've got to save that joke. I gotta save that one. I'm gonna have to tell my boss that one when she gets back for vacation. She'll love that. And the dad from Luca, you don't see his eyes either.
That's true.
Yeah, you don't really see his eyes at all.
I
I
think
think you see him like once or twice when his eyebrows raise up, but
yeah. There's like one point I think when he has that moment with Luca's friend. Can't remember his name. I want to call him Bruno, but that's not Bruno.
no, Silenzio Bruno. That's what they say.
What is with Disney and their hatred for Bruno?
I don't know.
What did Bruno do to Disney?
I don't know, but I think it's
Shut
funny
up,
that they
Bruno,
say
and then we
don't talk about Bruno. No. Slughorn and his tentacular leaves. Yeah. Because that's what he's doing when Harry catches him in book 6. When he's like, I'm going to go to Hagrid's. He catches Slughorn creeping in the window of the greenhouse, sniffing the leaves off the venomous tentacula.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, Harry catches him, and he's just like, I was not...
Harry, my boy.
Hello! What are you doing out here?
This plant that I have no idea what it is needed pruning.
Yep.
So I was doing it as a good deed.
And then Harry's like, you want to go see a dead giant spider? Ooh.
A venomous spider?
An acromantula.
How long has it been dead? Not that long?
Yeah, let's go. Harry, my boy, let's go.
Let me grab my shovel and we'll be right there.
God, I love Slughorn so much. He's so great. So fun. Love Slughorn. Felix Felicis would be great to microdose. Oh.
Slughorn would be great in starring in his own show that was like a Harry Potter version of Community. We're talking about that 70s show with Slughorn. He's like Community.
I haven't watched enough Community to confirm if that is good or bad.
It's good.
I meant a good analogy.
Oh,
Not that the show is good. I meant if that is a good analogy or not. I don't know the show well enough. I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah.
What I saw was funny.
I watched like a season and a half, I think. I haven't watched the whole thing. Not as much as I watched that 70s show.
You know,
I just started watching the show, but
Leslie Knope talks about Harry Potter a lot in Parks and Recreation.
she does, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Leslie Knope loves Harry Potter.
No wonder you love Leslie Knope. She's you.
She is me in a lot of ways. She is. Do you remember the episode where she meets Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm Leslie Knope.
I am a cross between Ron Swanson and Chris Pratt's character at work. Andy.
Andy. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Just replaces overmanliness with like stupidity.
I think I have a little bit of Anne in there. I don't think I'm 100% Leslie Knope. Slughorn is only creeping in the movie. In the book, he's talking to Sprout. Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's
He's trying to whittle her down. He's like, you can't just 10 galleons for this? What?
Pyro Chameleon makes a good point. You think Slughorn would be closer to Hagrid because he has access to all the stuff. Slughorn could use him to get whatever he wants.
That's true.
But Hagrid is half giant and was expelled from school. He's not a winner in Slughorn's book.
And also, Hagrid is kind of in with Dumbledore. Maybe Slughorn doesn't want Dumbledore to find out about all of his extracurriculars.
Perhaps. Either way, I think Hagrid's reputation would keep Slughorn away from him.
Yeah, probably.
But still.
I mean, he is a Slytherin, so he already has that bias. I knew it. I knew I was going to get that look.
We're never going to... Hagrid isn't fancy.
I'm thinking of that episode of SpongeBob now, where Squidward tries to be fancy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. Oh, yeah. Fucking Squidward. Jesus. I feel like at work, I'm Squidward.
Hagrid isn't fancy because Hagrid is fucking awesome.
Hagrid is living his best life. He doesn't need to do anything else.
Hagrid's just too busy being the man. Worry about being fancy.
What do you think Snape's selling on the side?
His body.
Wow. Okay.
No, I think he has a hair cleaning business. Hair cleaning products. Door-to-door salesman.
Do you see my hair? It looks like this. When I
Look
use
as it
this
gleams in the light.
When I use this product, it looks like this. How ironic would that be? Because that's how James Potter's dad made all his money.
Ah, that's it.
He invented the shampoo that Hermione uses in book 4 to calm her hair down.
I didn't even think about that. That would be so ironic and
Right?
so funny.
He sells hair products. Snape selling hair.
You can't beat them, join them.
Right? Snape sells hair care products. That'd be crazy. He's a Sleek Easy, whatever the shampoo is. Sleek Easy something.
Part of that pyramid scheme.
Right, it's like Mary Kay, but for shampoo.
Oh, man. That's so great. I want that to be true.
You want that to be a thing?
Yeah. What does Dumbledore do on the side? We know McGonagall gambles. She's out of the casino when she's not in the...
I think Dumbledore's just enjoying life on the side. I don't think Dumbledore has a hustle. Other than trying to find the Hallows.
I think Dumbledore is just chilling on the beach in like Maui.
Yeah, with some of Sprout's buds. Some Felix. Just chilling out with Fox. Dumbledore doesn't need to do anything. He just needs to relax.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Hermione uses Sleek Easy shampoo because her hair looks totally different.
Yep. When she goes to the Christmas ball.
The Yule Ball.
The
Yep.
Yule Ball.
Because she looks totally different, and they're like, what? And she says, like, I spent over an hour on my hair with Sleek Easy something shampoo.
Mm-hmm. And then through Harry Potter lore, we know that that's what Harry's grandfather made, and that's why Harry has so much money.
Yep. Harry's grandfather invented the shampoo, and that's where the fortune came from. Because it's like one of the most popular shampoos in the wizarding world.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder who owns it now.
Harry is a trust fund kid.
But I wonder who owns it now.
Well, maybe he made all the money inventing the product, and then maybe he sold it.
Maybe.
I don't know who owns it now. Or maybe Harry inherited it when he became of age.
Yeah, maybe. So you think maybe he doesn't get paid for working at the ministry? He's just like, I'll just do it for fun. I got enough money.
Maybe
because you would think in the grandfather's will he would have wrote
James into it.
I don't know. Maybe James didn't make a will before he died, so he didn't write Harry into it. So like someone
took it over.
Nabbed it up.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I feel like there's questions to be answered there.
It's true. I mean, we never find out in the books that it was Harry's grandfather that invented it or anything. So, I don't know. Either he left it to James or he sold the company for a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Did Dumbledore really see warm socks in the mirror of Erised? No, he did not.
Do we ever get... I think it's inferred that he didn't see it, but does it ever say what he sees?
Yes. It doesn't come right out, and it's answered. It doesn't completely outright say what Dumbledore would see in the mirror, but you find out what Dumbledore would see in the mirror when Harry has his conversation with him in King's Cross, and as he's talking to Dumbledore at King's Cross about everything, there's a line where Harry thinks to himself that he finally understood what Dumbledore would have seen in the mirror of Erised, and when he asked him all those years ago, it hits him like a thunderbolt. Dumbledore would see what Harry saw. He would see himself surrounded by his family. But it's not that explicit. It's very much inferred, but through the text you understand that Dumbledore would have seen his family.
Yep. Maybe, if not his family, at least his sister.
I think it would have been his entire family. Because he lost his father, his mother, and his sister, and him and his brother don't have a good relationship. No. Their relationship is pretty broken, and Dumbledore will never forgive himself for it, and it's, I think, if you read the text, it tells you without having to out tell you exactly what it is.
Taking a huge tangent here, but in Hogwarts Legacy, we saw the Hog's Head, pub.
Yeah,
is in it. I wonder who runs the Hog's Head in that, because it's not going to be Aberforth, unfortunately.
Yeah, no way.
Is the Hog's Head in the Dumbledore family? Or are we going to see a relative or something?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It'd just be interesting.
Yeah, to see who actually runs the Hog's Head in 1890.
Exactly.
Oh, did you see I answered Katie made a comment about Hogwarts Legacy?
Oh, yeah. I skimmed over it real quick.
So she makes a point that in the video we said it's set 200 years before the events of Harry Potter, and she's like, actually, this is 1890, so technically it wouldn't be 200 years, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, did we say 200?
Yeah. And she goes, there's the Ravenclaw in me getting into the details. And I said some in my answer.
We were jumping the gun. We were thinking of CD Projekt Red's newest game, Wizard Punk 2090. I thought it was good. What?
I don't even know what that is. So, I don't.
They
I,
just released the game
okay,
Cyberpunk
I don't know what
2077.
that is. But
Wizard Punk would be awesome though. Is that a thing? Like steampunk and cyberpunk is wizard punk?
the point is when I answered the comment, I said, "Good for you, um, for noticing the details, and leave it to a Slytherin and a Gryffindor to miss it. But let's just cut our losses and just blame the Gryffindor for
Ouch.
it."
Also jealous.
Was their relationship broken? I mean, his brother owned the Hogshead and they stayed close. He kept up communication. Thank you for the answer. So Aberforth didn't create or found the Hogshead. Well,
I think
is
they.
this game canon? We don't know.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, but, you know, the track record hasn't been very good lately for staying within canon.
Well, no. But there was another video I saw with like the devs, and they were talking about the process of making it, and they said they went through and they started with the books, and basically reread the books. Like everyone on the team read them like 10 times, because every time they implemented something else, they read through the books, and then used the movies to fill in any of the blanks, and then finally kind of use their own creative processes if there was anything else that needed. Um,
I mean, their relationship is kind of broken in the sense that Aberforth still holds all that resentment for Albus there. When he tells the story to Harry, Aberforth still bears some of that resentment and anger. And Dumbledore still bears a lot of that guilt.
yeah.
So I think that estrangement is always there. I don't know if steampunk is very muggle.
But
Industrial gears, machine, that's very muggle.
yeah, but it
Yeah, but
it it does have a wizarding feel to it. So I think it'd be kind of close to what
I
is
think it's just
steampunk,
because the
but
wizards
just
dress
slightly different.
in an antiquated way.
Yeah.
Not
It'd be interesting to see that. But I do agree. I think they stayed in communication. They tried to mend the bond, but I think there was just the bond was just broken too much.
I
Like there was
think
always that question to be answered after their sister's death.
who cast the spell?
Yeah.
Who cast the spell?
And I don't think they could ever mend that bond fully, even though they, tried to stay civil with each other.
Well, I think they stayed civil with each other. I think they bonded together as close as they could, um, given what happened, but some sins are just unforgivable, and if you can't forgive yourself, how can you start healing? I don't know.
Mm.
I think the war probably brought them closer together because they had to work together, but I think that was always there, and I think Aberforth just couldn't get over the fact that Dumbledore just kind of neglected his family and just went off with Grindelwald and just kind of like neglected them, and Aberforth was left to do it all on his own.
Mhm.
And it had such tragic results. And then Albus, having the hindsight of what happening, realized how selfish he was and realized what he should have been doing, and not really being able to ever forgive himself for the part he played.
Yeah. And as for the other question that Aberforth did not create or found the Hog's Head, I am going to look that up because I have no idea.
The Hogshead Golf Club. Okay.
Where's the?
Look at the Lexitron.
Oh, what?
The Lexitron. The lexicon. If it's in the Harry
Oh,
Potter
is that where you
lexicon.
got your? Oh, there it is.
Is that where
Is
I
that
what?
is that where you developed your screen name from?
No. It's a Transformers thing. But then I also at one point wanted to start a channel called Lexatron's Lexicon.
Oh. Mm.
The Filth of Centuries.
So, the Hogshead is an old establishment with the filth of centuries accumulated on the floor of the bar. According to Hermione, a goblin rebellion in 1612 was based out of the inn in Hogsmeade. And given that the Hog's Head is the only self-labeled inn we know of in town, it seems likely that the rebellion centered here. So, the Hog's Head has been there since 1612.
At least.
Yeah.
So Aberforth is just the current owner.
Yep.
So there it is. He did not open it.
It doesn't say who, like, was the first owner, but
It just says it's been around that long.
yeah. All right, so there we go.
Do you guys follow Super Carlin Brothers? Everyone keeps telling us to watch them. They have a theory about Dumbledore having a Horcrux and the Dumbledore that you see at the end in King's Cross being a part of the Horcrux. I think it ruins it a little.
Maybe
the idea of what's happening in the situation a little bit, but it's an interesting theory.
Maybe Dumbledore. There's a Horcrux of Dumbledore inside of Harry. When Harry faints in the first book, Dumbledore comes down, kills Quirrell, and creates a Horcrux in Harry. And that's how it happens.
Yeah, but how would he do it?
I don't know. I don't know how you make a Horcrux other than you kill someone.
Yeah, but Voldemort made Horcruxes with people. He was the first person to ever make a Horcrux inside of another living being. How would Dumbledore know how to do that? Dumbledore doesn't even know how to make a Horcrux.
Dumbledore's the greatest wizard of all time. Maybe he, did his research. Maybe he's lying.
Well, maybe Dumbledore knows the theory of how to create a Horcrux, but like Bellatrix says, you have to mean it.
For an unforgivable curse.
Right, but...
Maybe he really wanted to kill... I mean, it was Voldemort there. Maybe he just really wanted to kill Voldemort.
Yeah, but Horcruxes, like, there's months of planning ahead of time that you have to do.
Look, Dumbledore magical all year. Snape obviously knew something was up with him.
Snape.
Dumbledore definitely knew. So...
I mean... Krista said, I don't recommend them. They're annoying. I won't know unless I check them out.
I was going to say, at this point, we got to check them out just to find out.
If they're annoying, I guess.
People say find them. Some people say don't look at them.
That's how I feel about some of the Ice and Fire.
It's like Fantastic Beasts. All the way around. Full circle. So everyone has different points on Fantastic Beasts, which means we have to watch it to make our own decisions.
Their theory is that Fawkes is Dumbledore's Horcrux, and since Fawkes' tail feather is in Harry's wand, that is a part of Dumbledore's presence. Sorry to spoil it all. Yeah, but Fawkes' tail feather is inside of Voldemort's wand, too.
Mm-hmm. What's your point?
I'm just making a point.
But Harry's wand is broken, which maybe releases Dumbledore's essence and allows it to communicate with Harry. But with Voldemort's wand, it's trapped within the wand.
I don't think that's how Horcruxes work.
Look, the locket didn't affect Ron until he was.
How would Dumbledore? If Dumbledore put the Horcrux inside of Fawkes, or wait, I thought we just established that Harry, that Dumbledore put a Horcrux inside Harry. Now the Horcrux is inside Fox. Am I confused?
Wait, what?
At first they said that Dumbledore has a Horcrux. Oh no, that it's inside of Fox. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't really know.
I mean, I'll watch the video. I'll check it
I
out.
don't know enough about Horcruxes.
I just highly doubt that Dumbledore would be able to make a Horcrux. Dumbledore says all the time, Voldemort has powers that I will never have. Says it all the time.
I know, but let's take a moment and think. All right, just, reaching here.
Phoenixes have Horcruxes. That's why they never die.
All right, but bear with me. All right, now just imagine, maybe, just maybe, Dumbledore was lying. I know it's hard to believe that he would do such a thing, but maybe.
You're being very patronizing right now, and I don't appreciate it. Is that a bust of Julius Caesar in the background? Is he back there?
Yep. Over there.
Yes, that is a bust of Julius Caesar. See? There he is.
Life size.
Yes, he's life size. I bought that at the Vatican Museum in Rome. That Julius Caesar bust. And then I proceeded to carry it around with me all over from the Vatican to St. Peter's Basilica. Oh darn, we did miss the Ides of March.
Oh no.
We didn't even
Wasn't even thinking about that.
we didn't think about it either. Sorry, Jules.
And unfortunately, April Fools didn't land on a Saturday where we could stream.
No, it
That
didn't.
would have been
It was
great.
on a Monday or something, Friday or something messed up.
I guess I could have been really mean and been like, "Oh, streaming today, April Fools. You've lost 100 subscribers. I wonder how that happened."
I have to pee.
Okay.
Sorry. But I must. Oh, I loved the chapel. I loved the Sistine Chapel. I cried when I saw it. I literally cried. Bawled my eyes out. Are we having buffering issues?
Well, a little bit, but I think it'll be all right. Because on our end, it doesn't say there's an issue. No, I was looking because no, Pyro. I don't think you. I think it'll block links in the chat. But
You send it in an email.
yeah. Well, I was seeing. I'm not sure. Is there a way to send like messages on YouTube? I've never done this, so I don't know. Don't know either.
I mean, they could leave it in a comment and it'll get held for review and we could just check that held for review section.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can drop it in a comment somewhere and we'll check it out.
We'll know to check for it. But we definitely didn't talk about moving.
Yeah, I think Julius is glad we missed Death Day too. Bad memories.
We like to keep Jules positive in this house. I, for one, am a big fan of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. I don't know if you are, Mike. You know, we got the basilisk. We really got to get Nagini.
Well, here, Dan's
I'm lagging and
talking.
stayed in the chapel longer than we were scheduled for. When I went, you were allowed to be in the chapel for like 10 minutes and then you had to leave. Because there are just so many people. I'm lagging. Is anyone else or is it just... No.
Oh, no. Well, we got through most of the stream without it happening.
No, it's definitely not you guys. I think we're just having connection issues again.
Yeah. Hello, Mr.
Oh,
Dillon.
Mr. Dillon.
Yeah, if just let us know if it keeps happening.
Oops.
I mean, we might have to end the stream if it gets too bad.
Yeah, if it gets really bad, guys, let us know and we'll just call it good and regroup on Saturday.
Yep. We are doing a stream Saturday, so.
Were we gonna do the Great Snape debate on Saturday? Or are we gonna hold off?
Are you ready for that?
I could be ready for that. I'm off tomorrow. I can do all my research.
Yeah, we can do it.
What do you say, guys? Do you want to do the Great Snape debate tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
So tomorrow, Saturday. Sorry.
I was gonna say I won't be ready tomorrow. Slow down here. Yeah, it's weird because the lagging seems to just be on YouTube.
Because it's fine on Twitch?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand it.
I don't know. Either way, I loved the Sistine Chapel. The Sistine Chapel. I loved that. I did get to see... Did I get to see the Last Supper? I don't remember. I saw a lot of art when I went to Italy.
I was gonna say
I saw a lot of art.
Italy is just plastered with
There was a lot. There was a lot of art. I want to say I did see the Last Supper.
Yeah, Discord works, Pyro.
I forgot what I was going with that. Never mind. I saw
the Last Supper.
I think I saw it. I went to the Uffizi Gallery. I got to see David.
Nice. Isn't David like huge?
David is huge.
Okay.
David, you think David is huge, then you see it and you're like, Jesus, it's huge. It's really big.
Yeah, I remember you telling me because how I always pictured it, like I knew it was like bigger than life size, but I thought like maybe like 9-10 feet tall or something like that.
He by himself is like 12 feet tall. Yeah. He's huge. Oh, you had a Petunia debate this morning? Do tell.
Ooh.
I'm very curious. Was your debate over whether Petunia was an asshole or not? Because, yes, she is. Well, I guess I can kind of have a little bit of empathy, but... I got to see the School of Athens. Big fan of Roman history. Ooh. So have you ever read The Lives of the Caesars by Suetonius? It's one of my favorites. Just out of curiosity. Oh, look. Noel's on.
Oh, yeah.
How about them apples?
Oh, Noel's in the voice chat. What's he doing?
Right? What's he doing? He wasn't waiting for us, was he?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He was the one who told us he couldn't make it.
That's true. All right, fair enough. That's very cool that you have a portrait. That's awesome. Bobans, what are you doing? Oh, you're very welcome, Pyro.
Yes, glad you could catch us live.
I've been waiting for over a year for the Great Snape debate.
I know. I feel like we kept having mini ones.
I know. Maybe we should just do it.
Well, we are. Saturday.
We'll do it this Saturday. The Great Snape debate. It's happening. It's on. Katie better be ready. What? Watch, I'll tell her great Snape debate on Saturday, and she'll be like, I can't go.
Just have to post hateful comments afterwards.
Snape sucks. Here's why. He's a terrible human being. Here's why. Blah, blah, blah.
It's the only defense I need. Snape sucks. Well, so, alright, so final verdict is 27% of you said he was good. 11% said bad. 63% gray. I really thought bad and good were going to be closer. I knew gray was going to win, but dang.
I'm surprised less people thought he was bad, to be honest.
I know.
My point on Petunia was that she was the best of the Dursleys. She took care of Harry regardless of her jealousy, and Petunia gave Harry a bubble bath.
That's true. And she gave him a bubble bath without drowning him.
She did.
So, I mean, right there, that's a twofer.
But she also treats him very, very terribly for a hot minute. Oops, it's down.
The stream is down because we're streaming at a higher bit rate than what it says. So, because our internet is too fast, the stream is going down.
Oh. Okay.
I'm confused. Anyways.
That makes sense. King David the statue is huge with a proportionately small you-know-what. It is. It is a very small you-know-what. Well, a lot of that kind of work in that era, it was considered unseemly to have a statue of a man with a very large you-know-what. Was not good.
It was frowned against.
It was considered better to have a little one. It was considered better to have a little one. Ah, Mike has read The Lives of the Caesars. Oh my god. Someone else has read this book. I love that book so much. It's so good. Oh my god. Have you watched the show I, Claudius? Love that. Love it. Derek Jacobi plays Claudius. Oh my god. If you haven't watched it, you have to watch it. It's so great. It's better than Brother Cadfile. I love Brother Cadfile.
I don't know what that is, so I will take your word for it.
Brother Cadfile takes place in medieval times, and he's a monk, and he solves mysteries.
Oh, stream broke then. Alright, maybe it is a sign that it is time to end it. And hopefully all of this nonsense will stop on Saturday.
I was born in the wrong century. Alright, so yeah, why don't we call it good for now, and we'll see you guys all on Saturday, because this is just...
It held out for the majority, so can be happy about that.
Ah, and he read I, Claudius. I've read I, Claudius, too. Oh my god. Mike, you're my Roman history soulmate. Ah!
Oh, man.
I have no one to talk to about this.
Now you do.
I know! I'm excited. No one I know has read I, Claudius.
Now you can
or The Lives of the Caesars.
Trying to talk to me like I know this stuff.
Fair enough.
It's like, I know...
Brother Cadfile's good, though. It's good.
What's it about?
It's about... I told you, it's a medieval monk, and he goes around medieval England solving mysteries, like murder mysteries and stuff.
Okay.
It's good.
So, Roman Holmes. Roman Sherlock Holmes.
No, medieval. He's a monk. It's medieval England.
Okay.
So Brother Cadfile.
Sherlock.
Brother Cadfile and I, Claudius are two different things.
I realize, but my brain, we were talking so much about Roman and Julius Caesar.
I got you.
You said it, and then just didn't register.
Well, I hopped onto Brother Cadfile because Derek Jacobi plays Claudius and I, Claudius, and he plays Cadfile and Brother Cadfile.
Oh, okay.
So there's the link.
Okay.
That's how my brain went there.
Oh, now even Twitch is stuttering. Oh,
All right, guys.
yeah.
We'll peace out. We'll see you all on Saturday. We'll let you know time and all that stuff for the Great Snape Debate.
So see you then.